Hello everybody, I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason, and I'm here with my WrestleMania 22 review. This was a great WrestleMania. I loved this show. I enjoyed it throughout. Great show, very fun. This was in 2006. This is when WWE really started going down. The quality really started getting bad. But even though it seemed like year by year it was getting worse and worse, during WrestleMania season, WWE always delivered. They always amped it up and they always brought you good shit around this time, which for me is a bad omen now because for this WrestleMania 29 build-up, it sucks. It's not anything better than what we've been getting recently, and it's usually supposed to get really good during WrestleMania season, so that doesn't look good for the future. But enough about WrestleMania 29. This is about WrestleMania 22. Before I go into the card, I want to say the Chicago crowd for this show was fucking phenomenal. Unbelievable crowd for the show. They really made the show much better than what it was, even though it still was a good show. And Chicago, you know, great wrestling crowd, along with New York, along with Philadelphia. And I'll even admit that the Chicago crowd for WrestleMania 22 was overall better than the New York crowd for WrestleMania 20. You know, a real wrestling crowd with real wrestling fans can elevate something good to great, something great to epic. And they can even make something bad fun to watch. And that's the problem with WWE targeting like moms and kids and having the casual fans in the audience, because you don't get a response like you do when you have a real wrestling crowd. That's why all their shows are so boring, because if you had real wrestling fans, if wrestling fans were the target audience for the WWE, they could help the product, believe it or not, because their response, any type of response, always makes a show better. But the fact that it's all moms, kids, and casual fans at the shows and they don't give a shit about it, it makes the viewers at home not give a shit about it. Okay, there's my little rant. Let me talk about the show itself. The opening match was Big Show and Kane versus Carlito and Chris Masters for the Tag Team Championship. I had very fucking low expectations for this match with Big Show and Kane as a tag team, but this match was kind of surprising to me because this actually I thought was a good match. It wasn't boring. I think this is the best match you could have gotten out of this match between these guys. So I have to say that this was a surprise for me, and definitely a positive, because I mean, it wasn't a great match or anything, but it's the best out of you're gonna get. It was enjoyable. It was fun opener. Big Show and Kane get the win. I think they chokeslam one of the guys, I forgot, but yeah, they retained the Tag Team Championship, so fun opener. Then you get the second Money in the Bank ladder match. You had Rob Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin, Ric Flair, Finlay, Matt Hardy, and Bobby Lashley, and this wasn't as good as the previous year's Money in the Bank, but it was still very good. I mean, the names here, you don't think of putting on a great Money in the Bank show. I mean, you have Ric Flair, Finlay, Bobby Lashley. Those aren't TLC ladder type guys, but still very good match. Some great spots, a bunch of Shelton Benjamin spots like you always get from these matches. There's a ladder leaning on the ropes, and he runs up it and does a diving senton on everybody. Then there's this part where I think RVD or somebody's climbing the ladder to get the briefcase, and Shelton Benjamin jumps from the rope to like the top of the ladder. It was fucking insane, like Spider-Man shit. There's this awesome spot where Ric Flair takes a superplex off of the top of the ladder, like 57 years old. Just insane shit like you always get from a Money in the Bank ladder match. Rob Van Dam wins it. Of course, he would go on to do probably the greatest cash-in of all time, ECW One Night Stand 2006. I went to that event, one of the greatest nights of my life, seeing Rob Van Dam beat that fucking son of a bitch John Cena. Us, the New York ECW crowd, going fucking wild, chanting Cena swallows, fuck you Cena. Amazing night for me. And then Rob Van Dam had to smoke some weed and throw, you know, his career away for WWE, but I'm glad he won this Money in the Bank ladder match because it led to that awesome pay-per-view. But yeah, next you got JBL versus Chris Benoit for the United States Championship. This was an okay match. It was boring at the beginning. It definitely got good when they started using the Eddie Guerrero stuff. Eddie Guerrero passed away the November of the previous year. So you had Chris Benoit giving tribute to Eddie Guerrero, and you had JBL mocking Eddie Guerrero. So that was kind of like interesting and controversial. JBL gets the win. Benoit has JBL in the crossface. JBL rolls him up and gets the 3 count with his hand on the ropes. The referee doesn't see it, so he wins the United States Championship. It was an okay match. Not that good. Then you get a fucking amazing match. Edge versus Mick Foley. This was fucking insane, brutal, sadistic. This looked like it was right from the Attitude Era. I mean, this wasn't, you know, like cleansed or purified or PG'd or anything. You know, this was a hardcore match, straight up hardcore, some vicious shit. You know, going through a table on fire, thumbtacks, barbed wire, a bunch of brutal spots. Both of the guys bleeding like crazy. This was phenomenal. Fantastic match, really. It ends with Edge spearing Mick Foley off of the ring apron onto a flaming table, gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, beats Mick Foley. This was a fantastic match, really great match. Then you get the Boogeyman versus Booker T and Sharmell. This was fucking retarded, you know. I don't understand why they, like, who comes up with characters like the Boogeyman and just dumb shit like this? Like, I get people creating stuff that fails or is bad, but how do you create stuff that's just so retarded to begin with? Like, you have to be like 5 years old. Like, I question Vince McMahon's mind sometimes. Like, he's like a fucking like preschool or kindergarten with some of the stuff that he comes up with. But this was a horrible match, just really stupid. Especially, you know, coming after the great hardcore match, you get this bullshit. I hated this. Boogeyman beats Booker T with like some chokeslam, powerbomb type move. This was horrible. Then you got Mickie James versus Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. And this was actually an okay women's match. This match had a lot of build-up to it, actually. For a women's match, there was a lot of build-up. You had Mickie James, the psychotic, crazy stalker of Trish Stratus. Reminded me of, you know, some girls from my past. But this was an okay match. And the crowd really fucking made this match good. I have never seen a crowd so invested in a women's match. It was like they were watching Hogan versus Rock, and I'm not even exaggerating. The crowd was that fucking hot for this shit. They were going crazy for Mickie James here. Mickie James gets the win with a chick kick, wins the belt from Trish Stratus. The crowd goes fucking insane. It was so weird hearing a crowd go crazy over this match. So, okay match, but the crowd made it fucking a really good match, in my opinion. Then you get The Undertaker versus Mark Henry in a casket match. This was the last bad Taker WrestleMania match. This was a bad match. It was very slow, very boring. It was just Mark Henry on offense for the whole match. It picked up in the last minute when Undertaker started going on offense. He does the suicide dive over the top rope over the coffin onto Mark Henry, which was impressive. Does kind of like a last ride, but he couldn't really lift them up like he usually does with the last ride. Tombstones Mark Henry, puts him in the casket. The streak extends to 14-0, I believe. But this was a bad match. One of Taker's, I mean, I don't know if it's one of Taker's worst matches, because in his early years he had so many bad matches, but it's not a good Taker WrestleMania match. Then you get Shawn Michaels versus Vince McMahon in the No Holds Barred match. This was fucking great. I mean, if you're not a Shawn Michaels nut job like I am, you're probably, you know, going to find this match okay or good. You're not going to find it great, but being that, you know, I love everything that is Shawn Michaels, this is fucking awesome for me. I remember the build-up for this was fucking fantastic, and I just wanted to see this match so bad because Vince McMahon was just taking away all the dignity of HBK throughout the past couple of months, and finally HBK was going to put this motherfucker in his place. You had some... And the crowd was fucking ecstatic for Shawn Michaels in this match. They were going crazy for Shawn Michaels throughout this whole match. The best part about this match is that Shawn Michaels brought out the 1997 heelish, dick, juvenile, cocky, arrogant type Shawn Michaels. And I love that because, you know, in this run he was doing, you know, the born-again Christian thing. But for this match, he brought out the old school Shawn Michaels. And that's why I love this match so much. You know, great spots. Shawn Michaels going the greatest spot, of course, is Shawn Michaels taking out the 20 fucking foot ladder. Vince McMahon's laying on the table, and Shawn Michaels goes on top and does the DX crotch chop before doing the elbow drop. I remember when he did the DX chop, I went fucking crazy. And then when Triple H did it later on that night in his match with John Cena, I was like, holy fucking shit. And I remember going insane the next day at school. Everybody was talking about DX. And I remember the build-up that year for the DX reunion. It was just fucking fantastic. You know, the first DX run getting back together wasn't so bad, but then they just really killed it with the constant reunions. But I remember the build-up for that DX reunion starting from this WrestleMania was fucking off the page. One of my greatest wrestling memories of all time. But this was a great match. Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music's Vince McMahon gets the pin. You know, he's all like vintage, old school Shawn Michaels type attitude. He beats up Shane McMahon throughout this match. Great match. I love this match. Then you got your triple threat match for the heavyweight championship. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus Kurt Angle. This I saw in the comment section on this match, on a video of this match, and I agree. This is probably the greatest under 10-minute match you will ever see. This match was fucking fantastic. My only big problem with it was that it was only 9 minutes long. I mean, I thought we were just getting going. But, you know, this match was so great for those 9 minutes. It started off like that, like at 100% fast pace, and it never let up. You had a bunch of crazy shit. Kurt Angle doing a double German suplex to both Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio like flips fucking like 5 times in the air when Kurt Angle does a German suplex to him. This is when Kurt Angle was being billed as the Wrestling Machine, and it was so badass, the Wrestling Machine, Kurt Angle, because he was just so brutal, so intense, and just like perfectly described a wrestling machine. You had a bunch of great spots in this match from all the guys, you know. This was like, to me, this was going on par with the WrestleMania 20 triple threat match with Benoit, Triple H, and HBK. But it was just so short that it was a shame. Rey Mysterio, I think, does the 619 and the Hurricanrana to Randy Orton, wins the championship. Good moment for Rey, you know, and Eddie. But I just wish this match went longer, because it could have been, you know, match of the night easily, and one of the greatest matches of all time. Then you get your Playboy pillow fight, Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle. You know, their asses weren't out. It wasn't even sexy or anything, so I didn't like it. It went on too long. This was bullshit. Should have taken this out and added more time to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Tori Wilson gets the win with, I don't know, who fucking cares. Then you get your main event, John Cena versus Triple H for the WWE Championship. And this was when John Cena was becoming the John Cena that we know today, where this motherfucker just never lost the match, always beating the best of the best of the best. And they were just shoving John Cena straight down your fucking throat, making you take it and like it. This is when and soon after this, I would stop watching the product because of this shit. I would take a break from it. You know, JR at this time was drinking that purified John Cena love juice. You could tell Vince McMahon was just feeding him lines through the headset, telling him what to say about John Cena, just praising him. They were booking him as like this underdog, non-fucking stop. Every time they got a chance to say it, they'll tell you that Cena was an underdog. And by the 5th time, you're like, okay, he's not an underdog because you're praising this guy so damn much. It was just like, come on already. Enough is enough with this guy. This was a good match, though. This was I don't know if it was a great match, but it was a very good match. I'm not sure if it was great. The crowd really helped this match a lot. They were 100% behind Triple H, 100% against John Cena. But just my main thing about John Cena at this time, like, you have a powerhouse, like, fighter that John Cena was, and he was beating all these legends with a technical wrestling move, the STF. Like, it didn't make sense. It looked so retarded. And that's how he beats Triple H in this match with the STF. I think that's how he beats Shawn Michaels the year after. It's just like this John Cena shit. Like, he's the best at fucking everything. Even though he's not a technical wrestler, he's making people tap out. The legend, like legends of legends. The entrances were fantastic for this match. You had Triple H with the King of Kings entrance. John Cena comes out like a gangster. CM Punk was one of the gangsters that comes out on the car that's driving by, Chicago style. yeah, this match was fun. This match was very good. I don't know if it was great, but the crowd really made it great. They wanted Triple H to win very badly. This is when everybody really started getting sick of John Cena. The male crowd started chanting, you know, "Fuck you, Cena" throughout this match, and Cena sucks. John Cena gets the win with the STF. You know, this is the beginning of a fucking 8-year dominance and still going. You know, WrestleMania 29, it will just be fucking continuing. So there you go. There's my review of WrestleMania 29. WrestleMania 22. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Very close to an 8.75. It would be an 8.75 if the Triple Threat Heavyweight Championship match got more time. I would have no problem giving this an 8.75. But still, an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed everything from this card. I loved the Shawn Michaels Vince McMahon match, especially because I'm a Shawn Michaels nut. The Triple Threat match was very good, even though it was short. The John Cena Triple H main event match was very good. Edge versus Mick Foley was fucking awesome. Your Money in the Bank match delivers like it always does. So a lot of great stuff on this card. Very good show, and it did feel like, you know, the theme was big time, and this did feel big time. So there's my review of WrestleMania 22. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.